All right, here we go. Anabolic Academy, only on my channel, Serious and Cylinder Bodybuilding. This is the show on Serious and Cylinder Bodybuilding that I take your questions on bodybuilding and fitness. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe, like, hit that notification bell so you get all the content. But if you're new to Anabolic Academy, what you can do is reach out to me on Instagram, Serious and Cylinders, email, unclejohn1201@gmail, or my other email, john_olivia@yahoo, and ask me questions about bodybuilding, fitness, anything in the bodybuilding world, anything at all, and I will answer your questions. So this is my favorite video to do because I like interacting with people. I like answering the questions. This is definitely my favorite video to do all week. I do this once a week. So let's start. So I was talking to a young man in the gym this weekend, and he wanted to know about doing his first cycle. He said that he wanted to start with 200 milligrams of sustanon. That was his cycle, and he wanted to do it for 12 weeks. 12 weeks. 26 years old, 160 pounds. Now, it doesn't really how much you weigh if it's your first cycle. Okay, it doesn't matter how much you weigh, period. But because in order to gain weight, you're going to have to eat. And I'm going to have to tell him that. This isn't a magic pill, a magic injection. You're going to get good results, but you're going to get better results if you manage your diet and you put on the muscle with eating calories, nutrition, and training hard. Because this young man has a very lean, athletic body. He was only 160 pounds. He's 5'9". You could tell he ran track and the track and field in high school and so on and so forth and blah, blah, blah. So he's got a lot of muscle, doesn't gain body fat very, very much. So he's in a good spot. He's only 26 or whatever he uses. Okay, but here's the thing. What he recommended to me that he was going to do, I told him not to. Okay, 200 milligrams of testosterone a week is basically a little bit more than a TRT dose, and he's going to raise his testosterone level a little bit more than what it is, which is fine, which is fine. But if you want to put muscle on, I would do two things. One, I would increase it to 500 milligrams. And then I would also throw in some kind of anabolic, a DECA, a EQ, a Masteron, and I would stick to long-acting stuff. Sustanon, Cypionate, Enanthate, Decadurabolin, EQ, Masteron. I wouldn't do fast-acting stuff because you got to inject yourself every other day, and it just becomes hectic and it's a pain in the ass, and especially if it's at your first time injecting yourself, and you probably maybe got to get a friend to do it, blah blah blah. But when you use two compounds together, it literally doubles the reaction that you're going to get from your growth from your muscle and bodybuilding. It literally it compounds the results 10 times. I've been just using testosterone. The other thing that I would do is make sure you get some Arimidex because you are susceptible to gynecomastia and you really don't want to. Bitch this, because once that comes in, you are going to you're not going to be able to get rid of it. You're going to have to get it surgically removed. It's a pain in the ass. So I'd rather just see you do some gyno. So, sorry. I'd rather see you do some Arimidex. Take 1 milligram Arimidex, which is all it comes. You inject yourself twice a week. 1 cc of tests, 1 cc of Deco, 1 cc of EQ, or Masteron, whatever it is. You do that twice a week. You take the pill. You take that 1 Arimidex when you inject yourself as well. So you only take it twice a week, and that should be perfect for your first cycle. You don't have to go crazy for your first cycle, and you will have tremendous results. The thing is, usually was what I was surprised at. This kid already came to terms with injecting himself, and he never did his first cycle before. Usually, somebody's first cycle is always orals. They're always very afraid to inject themselves, which is understandable. It's not, if you're not used to it, it could be scary, right? And usually they just go, I just want to take Anavor, And so it's the same concept. If you really don't want to inject yourself, then I would say take an Anavar and then take a Winstrol, right? And then combine those two, and that'll be your first oral cycle. And obviously you're going to get much better results with the injection. Also, when you come off, I know you're a young man and you probably will rebound quickly, but make sure you use your HCG and your Clomid to your PCT, your post-cycle therapy, okay? Because you want your natural test level to be back in action when you come off. Another thing I would do for somebody's first cycle, or anybody, that matter, for anybody who does any kind of. On DavePalumbo.com, he has a test kit. You know, because we all fell prey to this. We've all bought fake stuff and so on and so forth, and you don't realize it until you inject yourself for 5 weeks and nothing's happened. We've all done this. It's all happened to everybody. It happened to the best of us. But it doesn't have to happen anymore if you just take the proper steps. Dave Palumbo sells a test kit. I don't know how much. Just go on DavePalumbo.com and you'll see it. And you can test the stuff when you buy it. You put a little drop of your Sustanon or EQ or whatever it is into a solution. It turns a certain color. And then you have a color chart. And then if the color matches the color of Sustanon or EQ, whatever the chart says, then you know it's real. It's not going to tell you the potency of it, but it will tell you what's in it. Okay. Unfortunately, if you really want to see the potency of it, then you have to kind of send it out to a lab to be tested. But at least you know you got what you really paid for, right? Because a lot of times people want things like Anavar or Primabol. Primabol is a big one. People, because it's safe and they're afraid to use hard stuff, but it's expensive to make. So what they do is they don't just give you trash. They'll just put a cheaper steroid in. So I know Primabol a lot of times is counterfeited with testosterone propionate, right? And you take testosterone propionate and you're like, wow, it's working, right? But it's really not what you wanted though. So you take it, you test it, and then you see exactly what you bought. And at the very least, you're never going to get your money back from a drug dealer. That's not going to, you're not shopping at Macy's and go, oh, can I have a refund? That's not going to happen. But at the very least, you don't waste your time injecting yourself with fake crap or taking fake oral steroids at the very least. So that's what I would do. I would always do two things. Make sure you take your Arimidex. Make sure you take your PCT. Make sure that you get that test kit and test it. And make sure you're eating right. And if you are like this guy who is 160 pounds and is very lean, you're going to have to eat a lot. And I don't want to hear, I do eat a lot. Well, it's not working, is it? So you have to eat more. Okay. I remember the first time I heard that, I know I mention his name all the time because I love the guy and his class act. I mention his name all the time, King Kamali. I remember I was trying to put on weight for bodybuilding and he was at one of my shows and I was talking to him. He probably doesn't remember. I talk to a million people. And he goes, I said, I do eat. And he goes, well, you're not eating enough, are you? Because otherwise you'd be putting the muscle on. He goes, so you have to eat more. And he just made it sound so simple. I'm like, yeah, you're right. No, of course. But anyway, that is that. Okay, next question. Of course, all the rest of the questions are from, you guessed it, Fran is the man, because he is the motherfucking man, because he sends me questions all the time, which I love, 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 love. Let's see. First question from Fran is the man. These are Instagram questions. Any tips on how to grow my neck girth like NeckZILLA? Okay. He's probably just has a huge neck. I seriously doubt that he does neck exercises to get that neck. I don't think it was intentional. Okay. Nobody looks in the mirror and goes, yeah, I think it's just, he happens to have a big neck. Okay. But if you do want to grow, I know they have a harness, right? You put it around your head and you can hang weights from it and you do this shit, whatever. And then they have this thing, iron, or what is it called? Iron neck. And I think even Joe Rogan advertises for it. And instead of a harness, it like goes around your head like a frisbee kind of thing, goes around like this. And then you could attach it to like either bands, or you could attach it to some kind of like what is it? Or put it around your head. You could either attach it to bands, or you could attach it to cables, cables, and then you could do your neck exercises. And that's the only thing I could really think of to strengthen your neck. But I mean, I know fighters, they do like I know fighters do a movement with their neck. You could see Mike Tyson doing it in his early years where he's actually hunched over. His back isn't touching his floor, but his head is on the floor and his butt, and he's rotating his head on the floor. That's usually for fighters to strengthen their neck so they could be able to take a punch and whatnot. But as far as building his neck, I mean, I probably hate to say it, it's probably genetic. He's probably just a fucking genetic freak, and that's the way he's built, Okay, next question from Fran is the man. Thoughts on how Martin Fitzwater will do in 2024? Looks like he made improvements from his recent picks. I'd love to tell you, guys, but ever since I reported for Fitzwater when he got arrested for drugs, he blocked me from Instagram. So I have not seen any of his picks. So I don't know. I can't tell you. I hope that he's able to settle whatever legal issues he has, and he's able to compete again, because he has the potential to be a really good bodybuilder. But if he doesn't, and he lets that life get ahead of him, then he is going to go nowhere fast. But yeah, unfortunately, he blocked me, so I can't see his pics. If you want to send them to me, maybe you can send. You're gonna have, or you can't even send it to me, right? You can't say, if somebody blocks it, it's blocked, right? So you have to screenshot it and send it to me. But all right, next question. Have you ever been so big that it was hard to wipe your ass or tie your shoes? No. Look, I was never at the point. I'm about 200 pounds now, maybe 210 or so, right? The biggest I ever got was 235. Getting big without putting body fat on was very difficult for me. And also, and I'm not going to be afraid to say it, I didn't like eating like a pig. I didn't want to eat till my food is up to here and then I had to eat again. I mean, to me, it wasn't worth it. You know, I never thought that I could. I wasn't in love with the sport that much. I wasn't so fixated on turning pro that's what I wanted to do. For a little while, I was like, oh, let me try. For a couple of years, I was like, let me try. I was in my 30s. I was like, yeah, I think I could really do it. Nah, and everybody knows the story about when I saw John Meadows turn pro, and I was like, I can't look like that. There's no way I'm looking like that. But yeah, no, I never got to the point. I got to the point. I remember I was eating so much, I was like pooping a lot more than usual. I was like pooping five times a day. It's the one thing bodybuilders don't tell you. The more you eat, the more you shit. And I remember I was like shitting like 5 times a day. And that's one thing that they don't talk about, is how many times I got to fucking drop a nasty, stinky load. All right. Next question from Honest the Man. How was your Thanksgiving? Did you listen to your own advice from the Thanksgiving video you put out? Oh, okay. Yes, of course. I mean, I'm assuming the Thanksgiving video I put out. Yeah. Thanksgiving's family day. And I'm lucky enough where I usually have 2 Thanksgivings, and I'll explain. Thanksgiving is one of the few holidays I spend with my in-laws, my wife's family. And then all of us, me and my brothers, always spent Thanksgiving with our in-laws. And then that Saturday after, we all get together and see each other. And it's my cousins, my brothers, the wives. And it's a lot of fun, because what we do is we actually make this candy that my grandparents from Sicily used to make. And we make it like they made it when they were kids, with no power tools or anything like that. And it's real simple. It's like basically honey with sesame seeds and some candy balls that you put on, and then it cools off, and then you can kind of like crack it in your mouth and chew on it and whatnot. It's called gumbaita. I don't know how to spell it, but that's what we do on Saturday. And then we usually order pizza, and then we hang out and we drink and we bullshit and we laugh. And it's actually really, really fun. My wife loves it. I love it. It's actually really fun. And that's so I'm lucky enough where, I have a pretty good family like that. As far as taking my own advice about dieting, yeah, well, I'm on a bodybuilder's diet, but I'm not so strict that, I'm looking to compete, right? So yeah, I'll enjoy myself on Thanksgiving, and then the next day I go back to eating to a bodybuilder's diet, really, right? Okay, next question from Fran is the Man, and unfortunately, this is the last question. The last question from Fran is the Man today from Anabolic Academy. But here is the question. Now that the 2023 bodybuilding season is over, will this mean less videos from you until the 2024? No, I'm still going to pump out content. The only one I'm not going to do is obviously contest coverage until the Arnold Classic comes about again. I'm still going to do Anabolic Academy. I'm still going to do Bodybuilding Babble. I'm still going to do Muscle Talk. I'm still going to see if I can get some interviews, some great interviews for bodybuilders. Usually this is the time I can get interviews, because they, it's a downtime for everybody. Nobody's competing. The shows are over. Everybody's chill. So now they have the time. So I got to reach out to a couple of people, see if I get some interviews going. And no, I'll always pump out content. I like doing this stuff, man. This is my favorite, right? So I like interacting with the people. I like answering the questions. It makes me feel like I know something, right? And I really do love doing this channel. So I ordered the Muscle Militia shirts. So I will be, or I should have it by mid-January. No, I'm sorry, mid-December. And then they will be on sale. It's going to be real simple. Muscle Militia, my insignia right below it. That's all it is. The Serious and Silliness Bodybuilding insignia right below it. It should be pretty damn cool. And that's what you have to do. Everybody out there who hasn't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that subscription bell. Hit the notification bell. Like, share, send it to people. I do good. Like, I'm good at this shit. Like, I turned the Japan Pro coverage that was a pretty boring show into something really funny and entertaining. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. It's not just the Japan Pro. I put bloopers in that I tripped over my own words. I made fun of Alfred Chiriac and Theo LaGuerria for holding hands on stage. You gotta go back and see it. It's actually pretty funny. So anyway, all right, guys. Thank you for tuning in for Anabolic Academy. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Later. Peace.